Hey everyone, welcome to another Open Cluster Management Community Meetings. Today is November 22nd, 2024. On the agenda today, QJang's gonna once again talk a little bit about the new ManifestWork update strategy and some changes to that. So QJang, without further delay, please take it away. Thank you.
Okay. Uh, okay, let me show here. So I write a enhancement proposal about this change. So follow up with a meeting last time. There are some more change in this proposal, and after discussion with Zhu Jian, Yang Le, and Hao Qing, the motivation is here, like we discussed last time. There are three issues regarding to having some additional settings on the update strategy with more complicated case in the update scenario. And the proposal is that we will add a new field, new options in the server-side apply update strategy. So we own for the default update strategy, we will not touch anything. But for the server, so if you want to use this new feature with more control on the update, you will need to use the server-side apply strategy, and we will add ignore fields in this strategy. So here is some. Let me show some examples here at first. So in this ignore fields, there is a type and there is a JSON path as a list. The type here, you can select unspoke change on unspoke present. Unspoke change means that this field will be ignored during the update when another actor or controller changes field on the spoke, changes field in the results on the spoke. Unpresent, on the other hand, means that the work agent will ignore this field if it is update either on the managed cluster by another controller or on the ManifestWork. So, which means that no matter this field in the resources update on the ManifestWork or whether there's another someone update that in the resource in a managed cluster, as long as this resource does exist in the managed cluster, this field will be not mutated by the ManifestWork. And then we could be able to achieve some functions like in this issue, we want to do something like when the user when the ManifestWork apply the secret and then someone change the secret directly on the managed cluster, we don't want the work agent to override the secret with the workload defined here. Instead, on the other hand, if the resource is changed in the ManifestWork, the work agent will still update update the secret. So with that, we can define like this. So you could set the update strategy to server-side apply, and in the server-side apply options, set ignore fields, and the type is unspoke change, which means that only ignore this field when the resource is updated on the spoke, and then set the JSON path to .data. So because we only care about the data field. And that also means that also means that if someone um, change the other part of the secret, like adding a labels, changing the label values, etc., we will also update the resource because it's not in the ignore fields. Only the part that in the data will be ignored. This is the first one. And for the application in the Argo CD case, the setting is similar. We could set the server side apply and the type is unspoke change and the JSON path is dot operation. So with that, it means that when the application Argo CD controllers on the managed cluster remove the operation field, the work agent will not add the operation field back because we will ignore this operation field when this is changed on the managed cluster. However, if we change the workload, like we update something like in the we change the workload in the work we change the application CRs in the workload, like adding a label, adding some annotations, etc. This will trigger the update, and this field will also be updated on the managed cluster. And for the third case, like in the HPA case, in this case, it means that when the user creates the manifest work with a deployment, they want the replica to be set initially, but after it is created, as long as this deployment exists, the manifest work should not mutate the replicas field in a deployment. All these replicas field should be controlled by the HPA. To handle that, it means that we also set server-side apply, and the type, instead of unspoke change, it is unspoke present, which means as long as this deployment exists in the managed cluster, we will ignore the spec.replicas field. And no matter this field is changed on the managed cluster or this spec is changed in the workload, the work agent will not update these replicas, will not update the replicas based on the manifest work. However, if this deployment is deleted on the managed cluster, which means that it doesn't exist anymore, then the manifest work will create the deployment with the updated replicas defined in the workload. That's right why the type here is unspoke present. And to implement this, that will be quite similar. This part hasn't is still not quite clear yet, but I will update this part later. But the major idea is still that we will create an object hash on the resource. Like for the secret, we will create this object hash annotations on the secret, and the value of this annotation is computed hash of the resource manifest, but it will not exclude the items in the unspoke present. So unspoke present, this is because we always want to ignore the unspoke present even though the manifest work is changed. So when we calculate this hash, the unspoke present will be included in this hash. So even though the manifest work, the field in unspoke present is changed in the manifest work, the spoke hash will not be changed. And for the other resource, like in the unspoke change, it will be included in the hash. But here, this part I still need to figure out a better way, because I think we need to compute a hash for each field that has a type. Each JSON path that has type of unspoke change. So we know that if we know that if there's one field that is basically if there's a one field that is changed, so if one field changed, we will just apply this field. But if there's other field that hasn't changed, it will not be changed by the work agent. So if there is one field that is updated by in the spoke in the spoke cluster, I mean in the manifest work, we will update that part and add it into the patch. And then if this field is not changed, we will not in the manifest, we will not add it into the patch. And then we will build a patch based on the field that is not included in any of the ignore fields, and also the field that has been changed in the manifest work and with a type of unspoke change. So then this patch will be applied to the managed cluster. So what happens when the resource is deleted? So there's two cases. When the resource is deleted by another actors on the managed cluster, um, because all this is based on the thing that the resource is present on the managed cluster. So if the resource is deleted on the managed cluster, the resource will be fully applied to the managed cluster using the manifest in the workload. And what happens with deletion is often like what if we set deletion is often, and we also set the ignore field. So I need to update this part, but the current thinking is if the deletion we set deletion often, so we will keep the resource there, but we will when we delete the manifest work, we will also clean the annotations. I think we will. That part I'm still struggling, but we have two approach option. One is we clean the annotations, so next time when the manifest work comes, because there's no annotation, so the manifest work will update at first time using the workload here, and then after that it will follow the ignore fields here. But on the other hand, if we don't remove the annotation, I mean the annotation is the object hash annotation, and then during the deletion of the manifest work, later if we create another manifest work with the same ignore fields, and different manifests, and same. Let me see. Let me think about that. And the different manifests, it is possible that this resource will not be changed by the manifest work by the work agent, because it checked the hash, and the hash might be just the same as the hash from the manifest work. So I'm still thinking which way is better, but that's also some case that we need to handle. And I think that's all. In general, we could with this we could just introduce one field, and we have a more finer granularity control on the fields on the resources. but this is only can be used in the server side apply because with other strategy like the update strategy, we cannot control a certain field. The update strategy will need to do a fully resource update. Um, and on the but server side apply can basically cover the case, all the cases that we need. So I think at first we should only introduce fields for the server side apply. Okay, I think that's all. Any questions, comments?
I think this is great. I think it's definitely an enhancement over the previous proposal. It's a lot more clear, and again, like you said, you can fine grain control the specific path as well, and it makes it. I think it's really good. It's really good. But the my only comment, which I know it's probably not too important, is the unspoke change and unspoke present. It's I mean, it's really hard to name it, but I if I just going on on the name, I'm yeah, I'm just a little bit confused because it's talking about ignoring the. So if I go from top to bottom, so server side apply, I understand, and then go to ignore fields, okay, and then immediately here I say unspoke change, but I'm ignoring the field. I guess it's about how to ignore the field. Is that how it should ignore that particular field?
It's I think it's like under which condition we should ignore this field.
Okay. Like, yeah, because I was thinking, if is it like it's kind of like, if there's a more generic term, it would be kind of like immutable versus not immutable, and here is mutable. But but anyways, yeah,
Uh,
that's okay.
yeah, I think that's a good point, but it's not mutable or immutable. It's something like maybe
That's
type is not good thing. It's more like condition or something like.
Yes. Condition is much better because ignore fields. I assume we're ignoring stuff, and then you're telling me, oh, but we're only ignoring this type of stuff. So
Oh,
condition might be, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, this is to the user of this API gonna have to know it, like,
mhm.
to know it quite well. I mean, regardless of the naming, they're gonna have to do some digging. But it's just, I guess, for debugging, for people that are need to support OCMIO and they're looking at the API and they're triaging stuff, it might help them a lot more if it's some clear name. And another comment is, if I already have some manifest work that doesn't have server side apply, and that's in, let's say it's in production already, and I really don't want to touch, don't really want to make drastic changes, but I need to introduce the server side apply into those existing manifest work in order to use this new capability. Is there any migration risk at all? Like, if I just stamp the update strategy server side apply to ones that never had the update strategy before?
This is already there, so update strategy is already there. So if there is one, so today, if by default, um, this type is update, and to use this field, the user need to change this to update strategy to server side apply, and also I think they need to add a false field saying that this is false applied at the first time. But that's fine, which means that this field, if this manifest work is being the other field instead of the signal field, if other field has been changed by the other actor, the work agent will force apply this back to override it falsely. If there is no false equals true, and someone else, some other actor falsely apply the change on some other field in the manifest work, this will return a resource conflict error in the condition saying that there are someone is changing the field and you don't have the right permit, you don't have the you have the conflict, so you cannot apply your change to that. But again, if we need a mutation, we need a migration, we could do something like this. And I think that's a good point. I should add one, and I should add one section here about migration paths.
Thank you, Kishan. No, this is great, and thank you everyone that was involved in the discussion of bringing the enhancement to the current form. I mean, this. I'm more concerned about this case, the one that which you just go through the Argo CD one, because that's the one that is sort of blocking the progressive sync for the pool model. And then I did add the operation in the pool model propagation this week, and I do see it being the issue that I mentioned. Right? It's just constantly syncing nonstop, which defeats the whole point of the progressive sync. So this is the API that I'll need to get that final change in to fix that progressive sync issue. So thank you very much for that. Okay, that's it for me. Anyone else have any other questions? Okay, I guess not. So Kijang, thank you for that presentation. I just want to give a quick shout out to Scott Burns, who represent the OCMIO community in the KubeCon North America this year. I mean, he did an amazing job in the lightning talk on the work that Quinn Hao, Kijang, and an external contributor Jishan the regarding the AI workload scheduling. I mean, it was very well received, so it was great, and also a lot of interest from the community coming to the OCMIO booth with questions, mostly centered around the AI, which was perfect because that was our lightning talk. So once again, thank you so much to Scott for a great QCon NA 2024, and hopefully 2025 will continue going our way with great QCons, etc. So that's all for this week. Thank you everyone for attending. Hope you have the best of the rest of the week. See you next time. Take care.
Thank you.